My M26 girlfriend F25 is cheating on me in a role-playing game. Throw RA as she knows my Reddit account. I saw another post like this and figured I'm not alone with this issue apparently. This is gonna be long since I wanna bring all the details if that's okay. TL, ye are at the bottom. My M26 girlfriend F25 of 3 years has become extremely addicted to video games lately and in particular a role-playing community on Grand Theft Auto 5. We've had a few issues about alcohol after New Year's Eve because she was drinking and partying way too much lately and she felt bored most of the time when she was at home. I suggested video games since she used to play a lot of games when we first got together and I tried helping her with joining my WoW community and try to get her interested in leveling and raiding. She barely played more than 2 hours and said it wasn't for her, which is fine, so I tried to make her play a bunch of games she used to like and we sort of argued because her restlessness and boredom at the time literally started arguments over video games. I know it's weird. She got involved with a role-playing community on GTA 5 and seemed to improve on her restlessness and boredom at home. It also stopped her from drinking and partying, which finally let me sleep at night. I let her have her privacy with it and she would occasionally tell me about situations and things happening which just made us talk more too, which was fun and interesting. But she suddenly mentioned that she was role-playing a relationship and was talking S-Time-only with other guys as well as role-playing S-Time and would chat with them on Discord, which I wasn't okay with. I told her my concerns and that I felt she was crossing my boundaries because they apparently talked about their past relationships and S-Time-only experiences. Our talks got out of hand and we argued a bit before she promised me that she would keep it casual and not talk about personal and intimate subjects anymore. She also promised she wouldn't engage in erotic roleplay or do anything like that. I gave her the benefit of the doubt and let her continue on since in some way it was nice not having to entertain her all the time, but as long as she wouldn't talk S-Time-only with other guys. Now to the day where it all went south. We had been out partying with some of our mutual friends Friday and when we came home, she mentioned how she wanted me to push her around in bed and take advantage of her. I figured she wanted to try new things and that she was finally starting to open up about what she likes again. She used to want to experiment S-Time-only a lot, which I don't mind, but I'm way more vanilla than she is. But no, she just mentioned that she had role-played it and found out that it turns her on, so she wanted to do it and experience it. I lost it completely and we started a screaming match at 4 a.m. about it. She can and won't see what she did wrong and said that she felt neglected by me and that our lives were becoming so boring. She had apparently role-played erotically with a guy and talked about S-Time out of the game as well with him. I've never felt so disgusted in my life before and she doesn't even seem to care. I know she has a flirty personality and I know she flirts with other guys when she's out partying and when she used to play video games before. I didn't mind that, but this was cheating in my eyes. We've argued a few times since, but she's still playing the game and I can barely do anything now without thinking what she is doing on her computer. I'm starting to become really jealous and want to check her computer when she's out smoking or showering or asleep. We agreed that we need to talk and communicate with each other more and try to bring the relationship back to when we had fun together, but I feel like she doesn't understand my side and she thinks she is innocent. She won't stop role-playing and she doesn't want to stop talking with the guys she role-plays with. I'm at a loss of what I can do or tell her. Redditor's reaction story 2 after this section. Redditor 1, I can't understand why people put up with cheating. That's exactly what this is. She's having sexual encounters with other men. Exploring kinks, etc. I would have dumped her. This is no different than S-ing or sending videos. I have zero tolerance for infidelity. Op answer, I know, but she has never done anything when she's out partying and I believe her when she tells me about the things she does. I'm just so confused since it's a video game. Redditor 2, she sounds like she has checked out of the relationship. If she thinks it's so boring, why continue trying to appease her? Redditor follow-up, Op, you're not the boring one. Your hopefully soon-to-be ex-GF is boring. Role-playing S-Time in video games is for 13-year-old girls who play Sims. Your girlfriend is a big fat loser. Redditor 3, time to find a new player too, my dude. It's not going to be easy, but if this is who she is without remorse, then you're better off letting her be who she wants to be and finding someone else who respects boundaries. Op answer, seems like it's the only solution. It's just hard to throw away 3 years because of her online endeavors. Redditor 4, this might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but you're both super unhealthy in this relationship. It's not just her, who is obviously cheating. That goes without saying. So I won't even get into why she's in a hole because everyone else has already done that. Why are you spending all this energy trying to force her into something that obviously doesn't fit? She's clearly bored, but cajoling her out of partying, whatever your definition of that is, and trying to get her to like the games you like or stay home and play video games so she doesn't go out and be flirty is weirdly controlling and unsettling. This whole relationship reeks of codependency and is incompatible socially, emotionally, and evidentially sexually. Yet, you won't leave her and would rather continue to try to mold her into someone you want that she's never going to be. My dude, leave it be. If she's having emotional affairs online, it's because there's something fundamentally elking here that can't be efforced or faked. You'll both thank yourselves in the long run if you stop wasting each other's time now. Story 2, my 26 meters girlfriend 27F wants to rape roleplay and I'm really uncomfortable. As far as I know, she wasn't our ped. I think I heard some survivors do that. My girlfriend said she read some rape erotica and was really turned on by it. Now she wants me to rape her. I asked her why she would want me to do that to her and she says it's something new we can try out and she's just really into the idea of me forcing myself on her. I've refused every time she brings it up. Look, I'm into us trying out new stuff in bed because we've done that in the past, but this is where I draw the line and it makes me deeply uncomfortable because rape is a very sensitive topic for me. My sister was assaulted when we were in high school and she killed herself. It ducked up my entire family and we weren't the same after that. Forcing myself on anyone even as a fantasy when my sister actually lived through the trauma is a big ducking no for me. I get it's a kink for a lot of people, but as someone who saw what that does in reality, I can't stand rape role playing. I never told my girlfriend about my sister. She knows she died, but I never said how. I've never been able to bring myself to talk about her to anyone without my chest feeling tight. I wouldn't be saying this now to a bunch of internet strangers if I wasn't seeking help with this. She keeps pushing for us to try this and gets mad when I firmly tell her no, then asks if it's that I don't think she's rape-able. It's her attempt to seduce me, which makes me even more uncomfortable and kind of sick. I haven't had it in me to tell her she's making me uncomfortable because if I do, I know I'll have to tell her why all this is bothering me and Ike if I'm ready to talk about my sister to her. Right now she's taking it as I'm being too chicken to try something new in bed. I need help, please. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, never let anyone pressure you into doing something you're uncomfortable sexually. Tell her to knock it off and not bring it up again. Redditor follow-up, this. People say this to girls all the time and to guys they go, oh, be happy you get some, but really no means no, no matter gender and sexuality. Redditor 2, I'm really uncomfortable with this. I've said no. I need you to respect that and stop asking. Break up with her if she continues. This is an example of coercion harassment. She is not respecting your no, and you don't owe her an explanation of why you're saying no. All you need to do is say no, and she should respect that. The fact that she's continuing to push this is extremely worrisome. Redditor follow-up, your first sentence is good. But ease off telling someone to break up with their so when you don't know anything. Redditor 3, I haven't had it in me to tell her she's making me uncomfortable because if I do, I know I'll have to tell her why. No, you definitely don't need to tell her why. You don't need to tell her about your sister. All you have to do is say that rape play is a huge turn-off for me. It makes me uncomfortable, and I'm not willing to try it. Any reasonable person will respect your boundaries. All human beings are entitled to refuse to participate in stimul acts or kinks we don't like, without having to justify, defend, argue, or explain why not. If she does try to make you justify it, just refuse to and tell her that pressuring people into time acts is not okay. Redditor follow-up, although you don't have to tell her, being transparent in relationships is always the way. Always. You don't have to mention the specifics, but saying something along the lines of this hits too close to home or someone near to me was assaulted, so I refuse to go down that route and that is final should be more than enough. If my partner said either of those things, I would back off immediately. Redditor 4, she needs to understand that no really does mean no, and if she won't, then I would start to be a bit concerned as to why she would want it so badly and why she won't respect your choice. Redditor 5, if you really don't want to tell her why exactly, just tell her it's a trigger and you need her to take that seriously. If she can't respect that you don't want to tell her about it too. Don't want to do rape roleplay, then you should consider leaving. TBH, her being so pushy and calling you names isn't a good sign. If the gender roles were switched, it would sound really bad. A guy pushing his fetish on his GF. Also, the fact it seems like she is very interested in this kink, maybe to the point where not exploring it may be a deal breaker in the end. Redditor 6, the rape fantasy is a fairly common kink and it is frequently referred to in the community as consensual non-consent. Your girlfriend certainly isn't weird for wanting to engage in sexual play of this kind with someone she trusts and consents to engaging in it with. You are definitely not weird for not wanting to consent to be a part of it yourself, particularly given what you describe here. There's a common phrase used in the kink community that goes, "Your kink is not my kink," and that's okay, and I think it's applicable here. Your understanding of rape cannot be removed from the evil that happened to your sister, and why should it? You shouldn't have to engage in something that you don't want to engage with, and that is something you need to have complete control over. It is unreasonable for her to think that your consent is irrelevant in this, which is what I think may be happening with her continued attempts at seduction. To my view, you will have to pull the "your kink is not my kink" card and hope to come to an agreement with her to maybe try something else if she wants to be adventurous, because your consent is needed in this too, and you've been quite clear you will not give it, and then also come to an understanding with your girlfriend not to use the word rape, or engage in actions or behaviors that trigger your very understandable trauma. Understandable, at least to me, because as a stranger on the internet you've explained it to me. If you consider what I've offered here as a way to move forward, then it does mean you are probably going to need to talk to her about this, and if you can't open up enough to her to explain how her demands are genuinely traumatic for you, then I'm afraid I don't know what more advice to offer. I will just say I don't think either of you are doing anything fundamentally awful. From what you've described, you're just failing to hear each other. And more, not less, communication is the key to fixing that. Good luck and I wish you the best. Redditor follow-up, no. Op does not have to disclose his trauma for his girlfriend to understand that rape is inherently bad. There is nothing good about rape. That some people like to play pretend as a kink does not mean that rape is somehow good, and someone who finds nothing sexy about rape has to explain themselves further than "No, I don't want to play pissed for you." He does not have to give an explanation to why he does not want to participate in a kink, especially a kink about something inherently evil. I don't have this kind of trauma and I still find rape disgusting. There is no trauma needed to know that rape is just wrong. So it should not be hard to grasp that some people don't find anything sexy about it. No means no, and no needs no explanation. This goes for every kink. You don't have to explain why you don't like someone's kink. In this case, it should be the easiest to understand.